Hey guys, Jennifer here with Whisk Manager, and we are going to walk through setting up your shop for the first time when you log in with your Whisk Manager account. So this is the first thing you will see every time you log into Whisk Manager. You will hit this dashboard page. This is kind of like your home page. And in this notification section, client emails, messages, payments, new inquiries, things that you have coming in, they're going to show up here, just kind of like on your phone, your notification section. You can click on them to open it up, or you can clear all of it. We have our quick actions tab. This is customizable. These are the ones that are set, but you can come here and click edit. This is like the buttons that you start using Whisk Manager and find out these are the ones you're really using if you want to add a quick tab right there. Down below is the to-do list. This is one of my favorite features. You can set your date range on here. So if you want it for the next couple of days, the week, or the month, and then you can select what you'd like showing. Once you have orders, inquiries you need to respond to, calendar tasks, even your shopping list, you can have them all show up here, or you click on one to take it off. You can also add your own custom task down here. You also have the option to print your to-do list. We'll come down right below it. This is where you'll see an overview of your business, your orders, customers, revenue, upcoming orders, new inquiries, and a calendar preview of your week. This dashboard is also customizable. If you click this here, you can see everything that is listed, and you can also move these items up and down. So maybe you want your upcoming orders up top. You can hit that button until you get up to the top. And when we come back over here, you can see now your upcoming orders is listed at the top. So that is your dashboard. It's pretty basic when you first log in because you don't have a lot going on yet. Once you get orders, recipes, clients, your dashboard will kind of be the place where all your stuff is happening and where you can just have a blanket overview of everything at one time. The next thing you want to do after logging into your Whisk Manager account for the first time is to set up your My Shop. To do that, we're going to go over here in the sidebar and click the My Shop button. Here is where you are going to put in your URL for your business. You're going to want to fill this out, even if you're just going to use the contact form. This is going to be your custom URL. So it will be whiskmanager.com/shop/ and then your business name. Right now we're using test2 because this is a test account. It'll give you the URL down here and you can copy and share this. After that, it's going to give you direct URLs to different pages. So if you're already using a web page and you just want to use the home page, the shop page, and the contact form, you can forward your web pages from your website to these pages so that you don't have to create another site or have them go outside of it. Once you have set up your custom URL, you'll want to head over to this button here that says Edit Shop. Scroll down and go over the basic details. If you want your location to show, you can enter that there. Your About section can be as detailed as you would like. We just have a basic All About Me Here section. You will upload your logo and your banner. This banner will appear on your My Shop page. It'll also appear at the top of your contact forms. You can select your colors. You can either use your hex codes if you know them, or you can click on here. You can hit show more colors and bring up a dropper and change your colors by picking up a color directly out of your logo or your banner. And then we'll come down here to gallery. You can upload up to 30 images. You'll just hit add. Then we come down to policies and fulfillment. You can choose whether to have this section visible on your shop or not. You can type in your policies here. You can set your default tax rate, and this will auto-populate on your order form, so you're not typing it in every time. You can set your default deposit amount. This will also show up on your My Shop page and will also be your default on your order form. And you can set up your default pickup location because it will ask you for a pickup location on your order form if you do select pickup. You can override this in the order form so you're not locked into using it, but if you have a place that you pick up more than others and not having to type it in every time, here is where you will enter it. Your fulfillment methods, whether you offer pickup, delivery, or shipping, these will be available on your website if you turn them on. And then your social media handles and your website. If you do not fill them in, it will not show. So it's not going to be a broken link on your My Shop page. It just won't be there. But whatever ones you use, you can fill those in here and they will show up on your page. These are the different features that you have inside My Shop. So you have your home page, you have your gallery, you have your availability calendar, you have an events page and a pre-sale page and your products in your shop and then a subscription. You can turn these on or off. Depending on whether they are on or off is whether they will appear on your shop. If you were just using the contact page, but you didn't want the header to say home page or gallery, you could just turn these off, use the inquiry form alone. Down here, if you're going on vacation, you'll just toggle that on and it'll put your shop on vacation. It will still allow you to get emails from your clients. However, it will notify them that you will be back. Select your date, put a vacation message and a return date. Hit update my shop. Make sure your photos are done uploading before you hit save so you don't mess them up. We'll hit back here. Next is our contact form. Before we look at the other pages, I'm going to show you what your live shop will look like. You can see my buttons that I turned on in my shop. We have our header, our logo, your shop name, your location, and your clickable URLs. So here you can see your banner, your logo, your shop name, location, your social media and website links, and then your contact button. Here's your About Me section. Tell people about your business. If you have your policies and fulfillment turned on, it's going to show here. And then it'll just give you 5 pictures of your gallery down here. But when we click on gallery up here, this will take you to your full gallery of pictures. Availability, this is what it looks like to your clients. They will be able to see if you update this here with whether you're booked, whether you're limited, whether you have an event, classes, things like that. We don't have anything on the rest of these pages yet, but if you click on shop, there are a pre-sale, all products or categories. It's also a drop-down menu here, and then subscriptions. This is where your customers can log into their portal once they have made an inquiry with you. Another option up here for contact. You will notice 2 different carts down here. We have a checkout cart and then we have a quote cart. This is because a lot of bakers just want someone to be able to fill out a quote form, and you can submit that to the quote cart without having to go through the checkout process. When you click on one of the contact buttons, this is where it will take you. So your clients will see your shop banner, your logo, and then the questions that you choose to be on your contact form. The standard form looks like before any editing is done to it. It'll ask them their name, their email, event date, event type, guest count. They can tell you about their vision, delivery address, their budget, and upload pictures, and then they submit this inquiry. Because as soon as they hit submit inquiry, it is going to show up in your inbox over in Whisk Manager. I'm going to fill this out so that we can see what it looks like when it shows up over there. I put in some basic information, uploaded a photo, and then I'm going to hit submit inquiry. And they'll see inquiry submitted and to check an email for access to their portal. So that will go automatically to them if you have that set up in your portal settings. Go back over to our account and click on orders, all orders or inquiries. We're going to see this card of the new inquiry, and if we click on it, it's going to bring up our customer portal. Once you open up their client portal, this is what it looks like here. We'll go over this in a different video. They fill out the form on your website with the contact form from Whisk Manager, and it puts all their information directly in here. So when you go to click on their order form, everything is already pre-populated in there, and then you can go in and add all the other details as you work through with them as your client of what they're wanting. Now, when we come back to our dashboard, you can see the upcoming order is now showing, and we have notifications that let us know a new order inquiry came in and that they were uploaded files on it. You can even see on our to-do list that it is now updated for an upcoming order. Total orders, 1, customer 1, everything is automatic. New inquiries showing down here as well, as soon as someone submits an inquiry or an order request from your contact form. Same thing happens as someone purchases a product or event or a class from your shop. It's going to make them a customer portfolio automatically in here, and it's going to update your notifications on exactly what had happened and what they have done. Come back over to My Shop. Here is where you're going to edit it. You can either take out the questions and you can also add your own. Click on Contact Form. Name is required. Everything else you can toggle on or off. Maybe you don't want the tell us about your vision, toggle that off. If you don't want them to give a budget, toggle that off. And if you want to add a question, come down here and type your custom question. You can choose from this drop-down menu whether you want them to provide a short answer, a long answer, or yes or no. And you can also make that required or not required. You can add as many questions as you would like to your contact form. When you're done, just hit save, and that's it. Your contact form is updated. It already is personalized with your colors and your logo and your header, and everything is ready. The next thing we will look at is the availability calendar. This is one of the locations where you can set up your booked, limited, or open dates. So if we want to come in here and let's say Monday we are booked, we can just save that and it's going to show up as booked on our calendar in My Shop. If Friday we want to have available, we can add that. Let's say Saturday we have available, but we are limited space. We can add that. I can show you what an updated calendar looks like. So now here we have the booked, open, and open with our note we put in about limited space. You could put classes, other details in here as well. The other option for your calendar is here. Everything you add to this calendar is private except your open, booked, and limited. So you can put in here your bake days, decorate days, consult days. You can put in other tasks. The only thing that is going to show up is booked, limited, and open that will transport over to the other calendar. And you can see it gives you a warning here that these things will transfer over. To enter task onto your calendar, you're just going to select a date. We'll go here with March 9th. If you want to select other dates, because you know you have 4 days that month that are going to be your marketing and social media days, you can hit add dates. Come back in here. Maybe every Monday we want to make a social media marketing day. Select done, select your task. You can choose from the tasks that are in here, or you can hit other and add your own. But let's say this is our marketing and content day. Add tasks to those 4 dates. Now they show up on your calendar. These do not show up on your public calendar for your clients. However, if on March 11th we want to book this day out, but we also want to add a task and have that a baking day and save it. When we come back over to the calendar, this red here is going to show us that we're booked, and that is going to show up on your forward-facing calendar in My Shop. However, the bake day task is not going to show up. There's a little reminder up here, open, booked, and limited will show up on your My Shop, but everything else is not going to. Those are your private details. You can enter notes without worrying about them populating on your site. The only difference is if you make the availability note in here, that will show up. So if I write in my availability notes that I have a limited supply or a limited time, limited space available, that will show up. The notes in the task will not show up. Our final item here is manage products and events. This is where you can add your events, your products, your pre-sales, and your subscriptions. But to get started, we're going to first add an event. You can add categories if you have different events, maybe a Valentine's decorating class and an Easter decorating class, or you can just straight add an event. So we will just call this one Easter cookie class. You can go ahead and select your date. And you can also do the event type. So this may be a market that you just want to add to your calendar, a pop-up festival, other. So you can go ahead and we're going to do class for this one, 1 p.m. to 3. So we're just filling out some details here, our location, description. You can upload a photo. If you have an external link, you can add that here. If you don't, leave that blank because you can check out right here in the app. If you have a category, you would be able to select that here. Does this class or event have a price? If it does, toggle this on and then put in your price. If you want to show it on your availability calendar in the My Shop, toggle that on. If you want it active now and visible to your customers, leave this on here. Down here, you have your variations, your add-on options, and your custom questions. Everything has this. Products have this, subscriptions. So these are where you add any variations. Maybe you have a cookie flavor. We'll just put flavor. You can make it required. They can select multiple answers or just one answer. Here we'll have it for just one, and they can choose vanilla or chocolate. If there are add-ons, things that may cost extra, let's do a custom box, and that's going to be $5 extra if they want to add that. You can add as many add-ons as you would like, and they can choose which ones they would like. You can do custom questions. Maybe this is a place where you let them know your allergy risk. You can type out something about your allergy policy, or if you're late, or refunds, or just gathering information from them. And you can have a short text, a long text, or multiple choice. So something for acknowledging your allergy statement. You could have this on here and under yes and no and make it required. And then you just save your event. And so now we have an event done. Once you have one done, you can copy it if you want to use that template, because you know it's going to be the same questions. You can create this as a template and just title it template, because you want to ask the same questions on your classes or events or markets. You could do a class template, a market template, and then copy those and edit your main details up here. We'll just save that as a copy. So when we go to our page to show you how they look, there will be a few things on there. If you want to take it off your site so that it's not visible, you can hit this button right here and it automatically hides it from your site, or you can turn it back on. If you want to edit it, edit details, you just click the pencil icon. And if you want to see your stats for that specific product, click on the card itself, and it's going to open up how many orders you've had, your revenue, total items, how many you fulfilled. You can search clients that ordered that item, and you can also hit the edit event button from right there inside. So let's go back to products now. Same thing with products. You can add your categories, or you can just come in and start adding a product. When you hit the add button, you're going to see it pull down the add product or add quote inquiry. So first we're going to add a product. We're going to make this live on the shop. Let's say birthday cake. It's going to be $50. You can add your variations, such as your flavors. We're just going to do one flavor. But if you wanted to allow them to choose multiple, you could. Add a variation. Add-ons. This is where maybe you have candles that come with the cake. Fancy box. Card. Balloons. Full package, right? So they can add different things on there. And then your custom questions, anything you want, whether it's allergies, whether it's your name or their name that you want them to write on the cake. Then we'll add an image. Let's see if we just have a smaller cake here. And then your inventory. So you can track your inventory. You can turn this on and set this at a certain amount. So maybe you don't want more than 10 or 20. We'll go ahead and turn that on. Then listing, purchase and listing settings. This right here is where you can choose whether we selected for this to be a product to buy versus a quote. But you do have the option if you're like, well, I want my customer just to be able to request a quote as well. So you can do both, or you can change it to quote only, or just leave it as add to cart like we had. We're going to leave this as listed. And then fulfillment options, this is for your lead time. So you don't want somebody submitting an order at midnight to pick up at 10 a.m. the next day. So here you will select however many days you need leading up to that pickup. And then if it's local pickup, local delivery, or shipping, you can choose which one or multiple that you have on. We're going to put local pickup on right now. There's not going to be a fee for pickup, but you can put your address in here for that. And then you can do time slots. So maybe this is something that you're selling just for the weekends and you are going to be open every Saturday from 1 to 3. Pick your date and your time that you will be open for those time slots. You can add more than one time slot to those dates. Same thing for local delivery. You could put your fee in there, delivery window, shipping, your fees, and where it's going. and then a minimum number for purchase. And if you want to limit it to a person can only purchase 10 of those items, you can put that on there as well. Even if you don't have a max quantity per customer, it's not going to go over your stock that you have available. We'll go ahead and hit save product. If you want to turn it off of your site quickly, just hit the eyeball and it will no longer appear on your client-facing shop. If you want to copy it, hit the copy button, edit button to edit that product, and then you'll hit your card here to come back and show kind of your overview of how that product did. We'll just go back here to products and do a quote inquiry. So again, this would be maybe a wedding cake. Our base price $500. If you had a wedding cake category, you can put it in there. Wedding cake quote. You can add your flavors, but you can add other variations as well. Buttercream, fondant, different stuff. If you are going to have an upcharge, you would want to choose the add-ons instead because that has an upcharge to it. And you can add as many variations as you would like. Then your add-ons, so maybe fondant is your upcharge, starting at 100, maybe gum paste flowers. And then again, your custom questions, upload an image. My little kitten came to say hi. See, if you use Whisk Manager, all your baking will be easier and you'll have more time to play with kittens. So again, back to inventory. We'll turn this on. This is a quote, so we really don't need inventory on for that. And this is a quote only, as you see there. And this is going to appear as listed. Fulfillment options. We don't need this because, again, it is a quote, and we're going to hit save product. Over here is pre-sales. And what pre-sales is, as I kind of said before, you're going to select products to add to that pre-sale. So you may have a Valentine's Day or an Easter or Thanksgiving pre-sale. So when we want to do a pre-sale, we would come in here, we could pick our cover photo, picking some basic stuff right now, hit select products. It's going to bring you back to where you have all your products listed and add those into our pre-sale because we don't have anything else in there right now. Your variations, your add-ons, your custom questions, your inventory, fulfillment options, the same as everything else. This is going to be an add to cart, and then your payment options. Turn this on so they can check out. If you have Stripe or Square connected, this is always going to be on. And then your alternative payment methods that you have set up will show up here. We still need to go in and set up our payment methods, but we're going to turn that on for now and save the pre-sale. We need to add, if you missed something, like this is just kind of a test, so I didn't add in our dates, and it wants us to, so it'll remind us of that, and then we'll go ahead and save it. Subscriptions, kind of the same thing, but this would be if you are doing a monthly service for maybe a cookie box, a cake box, a dessert box, some type of monthly subscription service. Add in your name, your description, a cover photo, the price. You can select your frequency from weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, your pickup type from delivery, shipping, pickup, the billing date, and then your pickup schedule. Select your available dates and then your time slots. And again, you can add more than one time slot. Write in here what's included. If you want a maximum number of subscribers, this is only going to be available for the first 25 people. You can check that here. Any internal reference notes and your billing and payments. This is where you can choose whether you're going to send an invoice that's generates an email and invoice each month, or whether you're going to put them on the auto charge. So you'll select that, and then you'll select your payment provider that we'll set up in a few minutes. Your variations, your add-ons, and your custom questions. You can track your inventory and you can show it in the public shop, and then you just hit create subscription, and that will be started, and people can go ahead and sign up for your subscription from there. The front page of my shop and go back to view shop. You will now see in our events, we have these two, and when you click on one, it leads you right to the form. You can select a vanilla, add custom box. They do or don't have any allergies, or they read your allergy policy, and then you can add it to your cart. And when you add a product to your cart, it comes into this cart button down here. If we go to shop, let's go to all products. We can go to wedding cake quote. We can choose what we're looking at, and then we're going to hit request quote. And you can see that came over to our quote cart. So when they submit the quote request, it'll also send them an email telling them to check their email for the portal login credentials. It sends it to their email and auto generates a password, so you do not have to do that. And they can log in and see when you message them as well. Not all clients are going to do that right off the bat, so don't just respond to them in the portal. Email them back and make sure that they're active in that portal. We didn't add any subscriptions, but if we did, it would be there. If you just click shop versus the drop down menu, it'll bring you to this page, and you can add a photo for your pre-sale, all products or categories. So you'll notice when we go to pre-sales, nothing is listed here, even though we created a pre-sale and added 2 products to it. Let's go back over to our pre-sale page here. We set this up to go live on February 27th, and it will not show up in your store until you set it to go live. So we will set it to go live now until tomorrow and save. And now when we go back over into our pre-sale, we can already see we have 2 items in our pre-sale, and now we can go ahead and select whatever we added for that. Coming back to our pre-sale tab here, we changed the date so it's now showing up on our store. Notice pre-sale settings, variations, add-on, custom questions will override individual product settings. So the fulfillment, inventory, payment options, everything will override the individual product settings. This is going towards a cluster of products. If you don't want it to override and you want the original product settings to stay in place, you can go ahead and toggle this off. The original questions will apply at checkout. Otherwise, you're going to want to add your own variations, add-ons, and custom questions, inventory, fulfillment that will apply to this group of products as a whole. So you can see when we go back over to our shop and we go to pre-sales, this is in our Easter pre-sale, and we go to birthday cake. We did not add any pre-sale questions. So this is all that it says right here. But if we go back to all of our products and we go to birthday cake in just the listing that's not a pre-sale, you can see how many of our questions are still up here. If you toggle that switch off, you're going to see all of this here. But if you leave it on, it's going to globally apply the questions to each item in the pre-sale. All right. Let's go back to our home page here. We have set up our edit shop, our contact form, our availability, managed products. We did our shop link. Again, down here, if you're only using a specific page, you only want the, let's say, shop, you can use this right here and forward your website shop page to copy this. Yours will be specific to you. Copy your link, paste it in your website, and it'll forward to it. We have a tutorial on that. If you don't want all 3 of the shop pages, you don't do pre-sales and you don't want the categories page, you just want the all products page, you can come down here and copy all products, that URL, and paste it into your website forwarding, and it'll just go to the all products page versus the choice between the 3 pages. If you just wanted subscriptions, same thing. If you just want the inquiry form, which I highly suggest because that's where everything is going to come into your website and go into Whisk Manager, you can just use the inquiry form and you don't have to use any other part of our website whatsoever. The home, gallery, all that kind of other stuff is just for people who need it, who maybe don't have a website already, and to make it easy and quick, an extra feature. You don't have to use it, but we do highly recommend the inquiry form because otherwise you're going to be entering all your information manually or uploading PDFs, which you can do for the order forms, but this is much easier. Everything goes right here, and that's the whole point of the software, to make it easy and everything accessible and keep everything in one place. If you have any questions about those, reach out to me. This shows your status is live. Your shop is currently live. And down here, as you noticed in our products, it didn't ask us about what payment options we wanted to use. We haven't set up our payments yet. So it's going to tell you to set up your payment settings. Go to payment settings, and you can click that button right here. You can also go to your settings right here in the future. We'll click it so we can see it. And it just came down to the settings here. And here in settings, you can see your subscription status. You can upgrade your subscription plan. You can view your AI usage and your credits that you have in storage and emails and AI stuff. And it just explains that down here. Payments is where you're going to set up your payments for people to check out. Notifications. This will be what kind of alerts that you want to your email. So everything's going to come to your Whisk Manager account, but you may not want every single email coming or every single alert coming to your email as well. So if you want design approvals, payments received, designs declined, you can toggle these on, or you can toggle them off and not clutter up your email box outside of Whisk Manager. Affiliate is for people who want to be an affiliate of the program. And so you can come into affiliate. And if you love Whisk Manager and you want to share it and earn some cash and free months, you just come into here and apply to be an affiliate for us. We still have a few slots open. When this closes, we will put a closed for now on here. But right now, we still have spots open. So hit that apply here button and earn some cash for referring us. Here is your profile. This is where you can upload your business profile. It shows up in the corner. It shows up on your emails. It shows up on your invoices. It shows up on your My Shop page. Your business name, if you put your business name in here, that's where it's going to populate from. And hit save. You can change your password in here. And if you want to delete your account, you can do that from here too. And then integrations. This is kind of just some other website stuff to show you how to embed or forward other points in your website, and we have a different tutorial on that, so we will just leave that there and come back to payments for now. So there's a little thing here that says walk me through payments. It just tells you that you can connect Stripe or Square. You can also add your alternative payment methods like Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App. You can even have cash on there, pay me in cash. So we will just close that there. So what you are going to do here, whether you use Stripe or whether you have Square, and I already have Square connected, I can hit reconnect here and it will open up your Square or mine, and you will just go through the settings here. It will tell you, this will allow Whisk Manager to view all your stuff, to make payments, make refunds. I don't have any access to do any of that. So I guess this is just safety settings. I can't view your funds. I can't refund your customers, modify your customer information. None of that is anything I have access to. So you can go ahead and hit allow. Square's connected successfully. If you want to use Square directly for your invoicing, you can go ahead and toggle this on. I do not recommend that because the system is designed to work with the system, and if you're using Square externally for your invoicing, you may get duplicate reminders. There's no alternative payment methods, so you can't have what we've created on there. Unless you have the Pro Square, you have limited branding on your invoices, and the light items on the Square invoice will be a bit different than here. We recommend just keeping this off unless you love your Square and you have all your stuff on your Square, then go ahead and use that. I recommend just keeping it like it is. If you use Stripe, you can connect Stripe. And then we're going to turn this on here. That's why we didn't see it on our payment methods earlier, because this wasn't toggled on. And if you hit this here, it'll tell you I don't have Stripe connected on this account, but I do have Square connected here. I want to toggle on my cash and other payments if I want to accept cash and other payments. When I hit this little guy here, I already turned on Venmo. I can select Zelle, Cash App, and I can put in my Cash App handle. If I want to take cash or check or other, I can select those and I can save those there. So now when you come down to your products that we have set up our payment, we're going to edit them and come down here. You'll have a payment options. It lets you know that your credit card payments through Stripe or Square are always available. And then your alternative payment methods, we can turn those on. And those will, whatever we saved in our settings, whether it was Venmo, Cash, if we didn't click Zelle, Zelle's not going to be an option, and then we can hit Save Product. And so let's check it out on our shop page now. And because we have on our time frame that is 5 days, you can't order it before the 26th. And then we'll hit Add to Cart, and then our checkout. And that'll be here, and then we'll hit Checkout here. And then as you come down here, your customer will put their info in. There is a place for them to put additional notes. And then they can submit an order request if you have that option turned on. They can pay with their credit card via Square, or we put on Venmo, Cash App, and Cash. And so if we hit the Venmo, Cash App, and Cash, let me just fill this in down here so that you can see what it looks like. Select payment method. It's going to ask which one you would like to do. We're going to say Venmo and continue with Venmo. It's going to tell them exactly where to send it, to go into their Venmo and send the money to Whisk Manager, to tell them to include their name in the memo note section. And then it gives them the option to check their email, and they've been sent a portal login credentials for their order. Now, if they've already have a portal, because this is a repeated client, it's still going to show this. All of their orders will show in their portal, and they can select which one. So that is how you set up My Shop. Get your calendar, your contact form, your products, and your links working. If you have any questions, you can hit this button down here to contact us and send us a message. The first default comes up is AI, and you can always ask this questions, or you can hit human and you can send me a message. I will answer you from there. You can also come down here and hit submit feedback. If there's something you love, something you don't love, something that you would like to report, a bug not working correctly, suggest a feature, whether it is something not working, an idea that you have, or something you would like to see, just leave that on the submit feedback form. You can also upload any screenshots as well. I try to respond quickly to the feedback and messages. All right, guys, well, that is it for setting up My Shop, and we have tutorials for all the other features as well. So be sure to check those out so that this process is easy and streamlined for you. And I will talk to you later.